Alright, call, hello, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, the great millstone Huruel, and salutations to all you Akim on the highways and byways that snows in his gospel abroad on the four corners of earth and to the ears of the elect. And the brother Zion out of GMS Boston. And I'm going to do this lesson on the modern day school system. Alright, and how it's an epic fail. Okay, so the modern day school system and how it's an epic fail. And let me say this. The modern day school system is an epic fail for our people, all right. But for the government that instituted it, it's a wonderful success. Okay, it's a wonderful success because let me tell you something about Esau and his government. They're not going to put money into something that is a failure. Okay, all the money that they pour into something, whether on the surface or not, you believe it to work, it works in their favor. Okay, so as you'll see things that happen and Jake rally up against something, but you'll never see Jake rallying up against the so-called school system. And the so-called school system is the main source, right, that pollutes the minds of our children. Okay, it pollutes the mind of our children, and every Jake in America should opt out of it. We know through the spirit that that's not going to happen. But I want to do this lesson anyway. Hopefully it's edifying. All right. So first scripture I'm going to get is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. So understanding when you're dealing with a child, right? The child, your son, your daughter is supposed to feel your spirit. All right. They're supposed to learn off of your spirit. You could tell your child this or that. At the end of the day, you lead them by example. Those are the main teaching tools, all right, to give to a child for them to be the way how you want them to be, all right. So Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6, it reads, train up a child the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. Okay, so Esau understands that it's very important to influence the brain of a child. Because when a child is young, you know, there's that saying that their brain operates as a sponge. And what a sponge can do, it absorbs so much information from its youth. Okay, it absorbs so much information. So the child's brain absorbs so much information that, and there's also another saying, just roughly paraphrasing, that it's easy to train up a child than it is to unteach an adult and they teach them something new. So in order to reprogram a computer, it's harder rather than just initially programming it. So Esau understands this. So when you go into the history of the school system and how we were ultimately taught, you got to understand that in the majority of Babylon, United States of America, it was actually illegal for a child to read and to write, not to mention to go to school and to be taught. School wasn't something that was given to us. You know, you don't teach your slave knowledge. Okay, you teach them how to be slaves. All right, and the circumstances of our people, all right, directly deals with the knowledge. Okay, knowledge is everything. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is something that could make you prosper, and a lack of knowledge is something, all right, that can destroy you. All right. So when you read Hosea, the 4th chapter and the 6th verse, it reads, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And thou shalt be no priest unto me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children." So a couple of words here should stand out to you. First of all, my people are destroyed, lack of knowledge. Okay, and then it mentions the law. Okay, because when you think about knowledge, there's two types of knowledges when it comes to the scriptures, and knowledge can do multiple things. All right, intellect is measured by what you do with it. All right, so the elder Amos broke that down to me one time, and it was beautiful the way he said it, and I hope I say it right. But he said, somebody that is intelligent could use their intellect to, you know, do something like build a nuclear missile. You get what I'm saying? Or somebody that's intelligent could do something to produce foods naturally the right way and feed people. All right, so this intel, you know, these IQ tests that Esau likes to give out and this intelligence that he likes to brag about can only be measured on the right-hand side by what you do with that intel. Okay? When you read 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter and the 19th verse, it reads, the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. For it is written, he had taken the wise in their own craftiness. So the wisdom of this world is complete foolishness to the Most High. So let's look at the condition of our people. All right, the so-called black, Native Americans, and Hispanics. All right, in America, our position is clearly at the bottom of the tadpole. All right, so this knowledge and information that we are receiving that is of this world to the Most High is foolishness, because we just read, because we rejected knowledge, we should be no priest to him. So your first question should be, according to the Most High, what is knowledge? And it talks about his law. All right, you can't begin to talk about knowledge if you're not getting into his law, because his law is life. His law is everything. Our children have to learn by way of the scriptures, by way of the Holy Bible. They have to learn law, statutes, and commandments and judgments. They have to know these stories. This is our wisdom. Okay, and for you to send your child, right, to a building 8 hours of the day, to a complete stranger, and learn these curriculums that absolutely benefit them in no which way, that's neglect, man. And that's child abuse. That's total child abuse. All right. Now, going back to this whole school system and this whole school thing, you got to understand that after the Civil War, right, the federal government ordained, right, this not the integration yet, and then come later, but ordained these slaves to be taught. They ordained these slaves to be taught, to be put into schools. Now, here you have these racist, all right, southern states that are forced by the federal law to teach these kids curriculums. What do you think they taught them? They taught them, okay, they first of all, they was pissed about it. Matter of fact, I got an article here that I want to read. Right, first of all, that they were pissed about the fact that they had to teach so-called blacks how to read, how to write. Right, they had to teach them knowledge. So what they said amongst themselves is, all right, fuck it. All right, if we got to teach them how to read and write, we're gonna teach them white supremacy. We're gonna teach them that they ain't shit. So when you go to school and you read this history classes, all you're learning was, all right, Esau, the so-called white man, was this great conqueror. All right, he was this great explorer. Right, he was this great sailor. Okay, he made these great economies and these great worlds and these great empires. And you learn that your people were a bunch of savages in the Congo somewhere swinging off trees. They don't teach you about your ancestry, your direct bloodline, your seed line going back to great men, Isaac, right, Abraham and Jacob, our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai. They don't teach you about the realness of the Holy Grail. Okay, so I got a video here. That I want to get into, because this guy, he touched on a few topics. That I'm talking about, but understand that these school systems, all right, are direct poison, and this is something that people don't think about this stuff. They don't hearken this, because Esau, being a cunning man that he is, he beat it into you that this is a great thing. You know, oh, the schools are for free. But it's destroying our people, because you got to look at the results of what's happening. Here's this article that I got right here, right? Slakia. It says the Economic Policy Institute, 3 lessons about black poverty. Okay, it says the new poverty numbers released by the Census Bureau on September 10th shows black poverty rate itching upward. The good news is that in 2008, the black poverty rate increased only a statistically insignificant 0.2%, 2.7%. You know, and that's the good news. The good news is the black poverty rate is only itching up a little bit, and this is what they subject us to be, you know, cooning and tap dancing for. Oh, this is good news, because normally it increases dramatically, but for this physical year, it only increased a lot. All right, I say this to say this. I read this article. I'm reading this article to say there has been no change in our circumstances. Right? Buying into their system does not work for us. Okay? Buying into their system, it does not benefit us. They don't teach you about economics in school. You don't learn about that. You don't learn about entrepreneurship, establishing your own business in school. Right? Even when you go to college for business management, what you're learning is how to run somebody else's business, how to take orders, how to write papers. Right? You're not learning about economics and how the economy works. They don't teach you these principles when you go to school. Okay? They have something called the Rockefeller Board of Education. Okay? The Rockefellers are your international bankers. They deal in oil, right? And gold. And what do they care about education? Right? They care about education because they want to make sure that the people are getting dumbed down so that they can maintain their power. That the school systems are creating great zombies to work for their corporations. Right? They teach you, again, they don't teach you economics and real estate. Right? They teach you how to read and how to write so you could go work for McDonald's, Chevy. All right? How you could be become a great worker. All right? So the worst recession, however, has been in 2009. The bad news is that next year's poverty increase will certainly be larger. But if we only, if we have only weak job creation after the official end of the recession, a jobless recovery, then the black poverty rate could increase in additional years. So now let's go to this video that I got. And let's watch a little bit and then.
Stein once said, everybody's a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today on trial we have modern day schooling. Glad you could come. Not only does he make fish climb trees, but also makes them climb down and do a 10-mile run. Tell me, school, are you proud of the things you've done? Turning millions of people into robots, do you find that fun? Do you realize how many kids relate to that fish swimming upstream in class, never finding their gifts, thinking they are stupid, believing they are useless? Well, the time has come. No more excuses. I call school to the stand and accuse him of killing creativity, individuality, and being intellectually abusive. He's an ancient institution that has outlived his usage. So, Your Honor, this concludes my opening statement, and if I may present the evidence of my case, I will prove it.
Proceed.
Exhibit A. Here's a modern-day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today, and here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today, and here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now, ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed. Yet you claim to prepare students for the future? But with evidence like that, I must ask, do you prepare students for the future or the past? I did a background check on you and let the record show that you were made to train people to work in factories, which explains why you put students in straight rows, nice and neat, tell them sit still, raise your hand if you want to speak, give them a short break to eat, and for 8 hours a day, tell them what to think. Oh, and make them compete to get an A letter which determines product quality, hence grade A of meat. I get it. Back then, times were different. We all have a past. I myself am no Gandhi. But today, we don't need to make robot zombies. The world has progressed. And now we need people who think creatively, innovatively, critically, independently, with the ability to connect. See, every scientist will tell you that no two brains are the same. And every parent with 2 or more children will confirm that claim. So please explain why you treat students like cookie-cutter frames or snapback hats, giving them this one-size-fits-all crap.
Watch your language.
Sorry, Your Honor, but if a doctor prescribed the exact same medicine to all of his patients, the results will be tragic. So many people would get sick, yet when it comes to school, this is exactly what happens, this educational malpractice, where one teacher stands in front of 20 kids, each one having different strengths, different needs, different gifts, different dreams, and you teach the same thing the same way? That's horrific. Ladies and gentlemen, the defendant should not be acquitted. This may be one of the worst criminal offenses ever to be committed. And let's mention the way you treat your employees.
Objection. Overruled. I want to hear this.
It's a shame. I mean, teachers have the most important job on the planet, yet they're underpaid? No wonder so many students are short-changed. Let's be honest. Teachers should earn just as much as doctors, because a doctor can do heart surgery and save the life of a kid, but a great teacher can reach the heart of that kid and allow him to truly live. See, teachers are heroes that often get blamed, but they're not the problem. They work in a system without many options or rights. Curriculums are created by policymakers, most of which have never taught a day in their life. Just obsessed with standardized tests. They think bubbling in a multiple choice question will determine success. That's outlandish. In fact, these tests are too crude to be used and should be abandoned, but don't take my word for it. Take Frederick J. Kelly, the man who invented standardized testing, who said, and I quote, "These tests are too crude to be used and should be abandoned." Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if we continue down this road, the results will be lethal. I don't have much faith in school, but I do have faith in people. And if we can customize healthcare, cars, and Facebook pages, then it is our duty to do the same for education, to upgrade it, change it, do away with school spirit, because that's useless. Unless we're working to bring the spirit out of each and every student, that should be our task. No more Common Core. Instead, let's reach the core of every heart in every class. Sure, math is important, but no more than art or dance. Let's give every gift an equal chance. I know this sounds like a dream, but countries like Finland are doing impressive things. They have shorter school days. Teachers make a decent wage. Homework is non-existent, and they focus on collaboration instead of competition. But here's the kicker, boys and girls. Their educational system outperforms every other country in the world. Other places like
So, Stocky Brothers, it's some information in there and a lot of bones in there, a lot of bullshit that he's talking, because at the end of the day, it doesn't equate it doesn't equate the scriptures in it. All right, but the point being in this video is that the school system is outdated because this is what Esau wants. All right, he doesn't want that old car because he wants the new car to be updated, because it's that new car being updated is something that benefits him. All right, the new a new school system, new curriculum, new history books is something that's not going to benefit him, because they're built up off lies. And what can you do with a lie? You can't really add on top of a lie. You will have to come out with the truth. And if the truth was to come out, it's not going to make him look good. So how Esau has his system set up, these schools are not meant to teach you anything, right? They're meant to dumb you down. Like these hospitals aren't meant to heal. All right, that's why doctors prescribe you medicine. They prescribe you medicine, and that gives you side effects that make you sicker, because that's how they make their money. All right, the media is sent forth to give out disinformation. All right, because again, he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. So he's going to send you to school and with the thoughts of you getting education, when at the end of the day, he's not educating you at all. All right, he's not teaching you at all. Okay, so this is Isaiah chapter 10 verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness for which they've prescribed." All right, a decree is a law, and it's against the law not to send your son or your daughter to school. You could get your child taken away. You could get your child taken away for sending them to school and learning this nonsense. All right, that turn away the right grievousness which they prescribe. All right, to turn away the needy from judgment and take away the right from the poor of my people, that the widows may be prey and that they may rob the fatherless. Okay, and this is exactly what they do. Right, they ordain you to go to these places, and they program your children with a bunch of nonsense. All right, with a bunch of nonsense of things that are no benefit to you. Okay, so these doctors are prescribing these medicines that in turn make you sick. All right, these public school institutions are turning your kids into dummies. And the proof of that is that after you finish this 12 years of public school system, right, you gotta go pay for college. You gotta go pay money, right, for something that you should have already have gotten, in your 12 years. The same curriculums over and over again, the same things over and over again. Most of these things you won't even learn in your regular life, like how to farm, okay, how to eat right. These are basic things that a school should teach you. Women can't sew. Women can't cook. Men don't know how to farm, how to build houses, construction. The average American don't even know how to start a fire, all right, from scratch. These are basic essentials that you need. Survival, economics is clothing, housing, a roof over your head, and food, and trade, the barter. All right. So with that, man, I'm gonna close it out. The point is, our knowledge and wisdom, the knowledge and wisdom of this world is foolishness. Our knowledge and wisdom is of the scriptures. What Esau is teaching you is nothing but propaganda. He's putting bullshit into your children's heads, and all this shit should be boycotted, right? When you got these jakes that want to speak up, and the school system is through, man. It's out of here. It's outdated, and it doesn't work. Okay, Shalom.